Hi, this is Sarah from Sarah.com, Facebook, the numbers queen, and Instagram, Sarah1111. And we're doing a lovely meditation interview with Vicki Haspels, the conscious mystic. So let's just bring her onto the screen. Hi, Vicki. Let's make ourselves
Hi.
equal size. So thanks for this opportunity to have a quick chat about your practice. And we've known each other a long time, so I consider you one of my mentors, and you definitely have a lot of experience with meditating. So, when did you start meditating?
I went to my first meditation class in 1995,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on the Sunshine Coast, sorry, at Mooloolaba. I looked for somebody. It was back in the old days when you just went to a shop and it had something in the
Oh,
window.
that's sweet.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's interesting. So that's about what 27 years ago. So
yeah, yeah.
three numerology cycles ago. So perhaps everything's coming full circle. And what was the inspiration to start going to meditation?
I was. It was already like a couple of years that my psychic abilities were starting to open up,
Yeah.
and I was reading lots of books. I was actually very busy with my children, and I was just exhausted, and I needed something, I thought, to help me get my energy back or to calm me down. And it just because I was visiting a lot of those new agey shops around about that time, I thought maybe meditation. I think I might have seen a sign or something in the window, and I thought I'll go and try that to help me be calm and be nice and peaceful and catch up on my sleep, because it was a very hectic time in my
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
So you followed the signs.
So,
I like
literally.
that. That works. That works. That works for me. Okay, that's interesting. And did you find that it helped?
Oh, I tell you, Sarah, if I told you meditation, I didn't know that meditation was going to change everything for me.
Yeah.
It was the game changer when it
Mhm.
comes to um, opening everything up and streamlining everything and making it make sense, make things make sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even having a teacher to
Mhm.
guide you through the process. Because I was doing a lot of it, probably now that I reflect on it myself from the books I was reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, having somebody guide you and being group energy, it just I can't. I always my mantra is, must start with meditation. Everything starts with meditation.
That's beautiful. I think
Yeah.
that's true. I think that when we're born and when we die, we are in a state of meditation.
Yes.
Perhaps
Yeah.
that's why when we do it again, we feel that incredible amount of like calm and completeness.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't tell you. I can't explain to you the difference that it made to me. Yeah.
no, I can like really relate, and I can sort of just feel it in the way you're expressing it.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time I meditated as a teenager in drama class. I remember just lying there thinking that I would actually be able to survive till adulthood. Just that first class.
Yeah.
And clearly, I've done it before now that I look back, obviously, past
Yeah.
life and
Yeah.
things. But at the time, I just don't know how I got to that age. But yeah, I mean, I used to make up little meditations actually for myself.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah.
So you sort of touched on it. It's probably it's helped you with parenting and basically surviving really hectic times. Are there like particular situations where meditation made a huge difference?
When I changed locations, I entered a new relationship,
Yeah,
and I was having a lots of big drama in my life,
yeah,
trauma that I couldn't deal with. It was trauma that it was out of my control. And I remember that when I went to that meditation class that time at the Sunshine Coast of Mooloolaba, I sought out another teacher. And so, and again, this was 1996, so that was like a year later.
yeah.
And opened up the paper, and there was an ad in the paper for a meditation class at the local neighbourhood centre, and that's where I met my next teacher, and through that.
So basically, it just really helped you when you had a lot of change in your life.
It was it
Mm.
the my it's hard to articulate, but the path I was traveling, and to open up my abilities. I didn't realize that on reflection, I'm only looking at saying this on reflection, but to open up my abilities and to cope with the having spirit energy in my life,
Yeah,
I needed the meditation to actually have that connection so that I would feel okay with it. I needed to feel at peace with it. I mean, well, really, in meditation was the only time that I felt connected to anything.
That's
In
amazing.
3D life or human life, if you want to call it. I was so traumatized at the time, and I won't go into the things that were going on because it was manifold, and if I talk about it, I'll start crying. But it was probably some of the worst things that could ever happen to a parent, and also in a new relationship and all that sort of stuff. But having meditation helped me in a really big way connect with that deeper. I don't know how to explain it, like that deeper connection to spirit, that deeper connection to myself. And it was the only place that things made sense.
Oh,
yeah, it was my space. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that explanation, my space. Totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, I can relate. I really can relate. And I think, as you, Vicki, you don't always have to use the words. You've got a very expressive face. So it's kind of just like throwing out the experience just through that. So I think that body language talks. So thanks for sharing that. Do you have any sort of tips for people who struggle to meditate regularly?
I do. Actually, if you wanted to, these are some of the things that I use for myself, because I can be quite up and down with my regular meditation practice. One of the things I do when I am really needing to keep myself on track, I set an alarm. I set an alarm to either meditate every day or every week. The other thing is you don't have to sit and be quiet for half an hour. 5 to 10 minutes a day is really all that you need, because it's that connection to the self that you're looking for. And regular practice of doing that actually kicks it in your day-to-day life, because when you're doing it deliberately, when something happens in your day-to-day life, it kicks in automatically and slows everything down. So regular practice really is a good thing. The other thing,
in terms of what you're saying, is that it can just be 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes. I also think that and this is why I run my own classes, is that showing up to meditation class or meditation courses is a very good way, because it's making you accountable for your practice, your commitment to that practice. It is a regular commitment to doing those meditation sessions and sittings that makes the practice actually become part of who you are. And even if you do it for, I always think 10 weeks is optimum. That's when everything starts to just kick in automatically. If you do it once a week for an hour, an hour in that time, it makes it sort of sediments the practice into your being. And once you surrender to that process or surrender to that practice, it never leaves you. Being in a meditative state, and especially in a group setting, group energy is much. Meditate by yourself by all means every day. With beautiful connection to the self, but group sessions lift the whole energy of everybody, and when it does that, you get to reach heights that you cannot do on your own. That's the other thing.
I would really agree with that. And I found having a space where I meditate where nobody else sort of tramples is really important for me. I have like this is my little corner down here. It's just like this tiny corner. That's about as much space as I can get with family of 5. But it works for me. And when you go to a place where there's been a lot of meditation or prayer, I actually just like instantly go into it, and I start doing this rocking thing.
Yeah, you can feel it straight away.
Whether that's the Reiki kicking in or that, you know what I mean? That thing where you just start doing this.
I just think that we are so aligned to that energy now that we recognize it immediately, and we immediately lean into it, especially when it just resonates with our energy, because our vibration shifts to that level. Like, I often think meditation raises your frequency, raises your vibration, and it keeps you in that space. If you don't meditate regularly, you don't lose your frequency that you've reached. However, you sometimes we force ourselves down into that space, and things start to feel uncomfortable, and our mind starts to kick in, and all
Yeah.
sorts of things.
Yeah,
And
it's like having either like spiritual dehydration or like a
yes,
deoxygenation, and I find
yeah,
that the thinking is definitely not as long term. It's not as holistic. It is almost like you sort of shut down those like higher parts of the brain in some
yeah,
ways.
yeah,
And
yes.
yeah, I just find it often you end up getting triggered into something that sort of forces you to go back to meditation.
That's exactly right. Absolutely. Oh yes, I don't. I call it my kick in the pants. And
Oh
I was
yeah,
getting,
I know. I've had a few of those in the last few months. So yeah,
yeah,
I mean that's one of the reasons I'm going to be teaching meditation from April,
yeah,
which of course is one of the reasons we're doing these interviews.
yeah,
Is it basically it's something that I must do as part of humaning, and I've absolutely noticed that to teach it, to share it, helps to refine the practice, and it's actually just more fun. I mean, honestly, it's the kind of thing where you just see people so happy, especially when they feel like they've mastered a certain
yeah.
level of it, and it's really satisfying.
Watching their journey from when they turn up to like that last part of that
Mhm.
cycle
Yeah,
is just the best feeling in the world. You watch them, they're standing taller, they trust themselves, they are just they're working with their psychic energy, when before that were just sort of a little bit murky with everything. They're just
yeah,
like very confident. Uh, but it does, I want to also like remind you that meditation comes in many different forms, and there are some people, and it's actually scientifically, there's been studies on it, where
yeah,
people can't visualize. And
yeah.
so what meditation and what we think meditation is can sometimes stop us from going into meditation.
Oh, for sure.
So meditation is just a connection to the self. If you can't visualize something, it's just connecting to your breathing. It is something that where you have a regular practice of connecting to your inner self on a regular basis, and that is all that you can call that meditation if you want to.
Yeah, it's
I
that
think,
the
yeah,
meeting of the meeting of inner self. Yeah, I totally agree. And as someone who had trouble visualizing for quite a while when I was not very well and also really afraid of my abilities, yeah, I can really relate to that. And my meditation journey started with drinking water and breathing and very prosaic things. But yeah, no, it's a really really good point. And
mm,
it's one of the reasons that I want to do more teaching in this area, and of course why I want to introduce people to my meditation teachers like you and other
yeah.
awesome beings. So we're just starting to wind up. How can people follow you basically?
Oh, you can go to my website, vickyhaspels.com. I've got a range of different avenues if you're having issues around meditating, or even connecting to that spirit side of yourself, if you're having blocks around making that connection to the soul self. And it could be like a health block or a psychological block or an emotional. We'll get down to the nitty gritty of all of that. I am starting up my meditation classes again on a Thursday evening. I have been a little bit delayed getting that up and running because I'm back on the road again traveling. So I
Yeah.
take my show on the road
Yeah, yeah.
and making sure that I've got sufficient internet to do that. A little plan in place. But
Well,
otherwise, go to
you
my
know,
website.
yeah.
Yeah. Use what do you call it? My Facebook page, Instagram, all those
Okay, no
socials as
worries.
well.
And yeah, I'll put links down the bottom because you are dialing in from Winton today.
Yes, yeah.
So, you definitely living the gypsy life.
I'll show the. I was going to say I'll show the outdoors, but too many flies.
I know that's
Swallow one from
it's so hilarious that we had to,
talking.
change venues because of the amount of bugs. But yeah, so if you want to debug your brain, meditation is one of the ways. And
Yes,
hopefully, for those of you watching, you have learned something new about meditation today. It is actually quite a gentle process. That beautiful meeting of yourself and re-establishing of a relationship that actually brought you to the planet and will actually see you out of it. And in numerology, meditation has a 4-7 vibration, 4711. So it connects the heart and the soul, the spirit. It also has the same vibration as mental health and mental illness. And I've always felt it, for me, has definitely been one of the determining factors of sort of living in that sane world versus loopy world. It's just does something. It just does something, and it doesn't even matter like what form. It's really just that intention to go back into that field.
Yeah, perfect.
So thanks so much, Vicki Haspels. It was really great to have you on this little meditation special, and we'll
Thanks,
see
Sarah.
you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, bye.